Senator Yaroe strengthens community ties in Numan. In the heart of Adamawa South Senatorial District, Senator Reverend Binos Yaroe is building bridges of connection and trust. On February 22nd, 2025, in Numan local government area, Senator Yaroe hosted an impactful town hall meeting at the Panobato Event and Recreation Center, Numan. A testament to his commitment to inclusive governance and community engagement. Representing Adamawa South in the 10th Senate, Senator Yaroe has become a symbol of effective representation. This gathering provided a unique opportunity for constituents to voice their concerns, share ideas, and hear directly from their senator. Opening the events, Honorable Hapiati Calvin, standing in for the executive chairman, welcomed participants and prayed for meaningful discussions.
I want to use this very opportunity to welcome each and every one of us for participating here, more especially our distinguished senator. Despite his third schedule, despite the very convention that is ongoing right away at Densa, he decided to come down to Numan for we to have a very good meeting like this. Honestly, I want to thank him for availing himself to this very gathering. And for all of us that are here, honestly, I want to thank you for coming, and I pray that our gathering will be meaningful. It is my earnest prayer that there won't be any problem with any one of us. And at the end of this gathering, I ask that the Lord Almighty will grant us journey mercy back to our respective destination. Thank you.
Senator Yaroe took the stage to share updates on his work in the National Assembly.
When I came back, I said, for whatever it is worth, it is important for me to have an opportunity to sit down with people who sent me to the Senate and discuss with them. Everybody in the constituency is important. So it is not about some special people. It is, representative of the people. So if I'm representing you, then I don't have to meet with all the people of Numan local government before I can brief them. So if I have representatives from the various wards of the local government that I can sit and interact with and discuss with, then I thought that that should be sufficient, that should be adequate. Then the people I meet with can take back the message back to their various wards.
As chairman of the Senate Committee on State and Local Government Affairs and a member of 15 other standing committees, he emphasized his dedication to legislative excellence and community development.
And other bills I've sponsored. I sponsored the police pension board establishment bill. I'm sure maybe here we have maybe 1 or 2 retired policemen. Definitely we have them in Numan. And if you see the life of a retired policeman in Nigeria, you will pity the police. And the surprising thing is that all the other security agencies, the armed forces, they have their own pension board. They are not in the contributory pension scheme. The DSS, they have their own pension board separate from the contributory pension scheme. The DMI, they have their own separate one. The NIA, all the security agencies have been removed from the contributory pension scheme. It is only the police they left there. I have sponsored bills on constitutional amendment, I've sponsored bills on electoral acts amendment, you know, and one or two other bills that I've sponsored. I submitted a bill for processing to ban the use of Roundup. That herbicide is not good. It poisons the earth. It poisons the plants that are grown. If you apply it on a maize farm, the chemicals, the injurious chemicals, will be residue in the maize itself. So when you eat that maize, you'll be eating those chemicals. In other climes, in the US, in Canada, in Australia, in Europe, they have taken the company that produces that herbicide to court, and they have been paying damages. They are banning that product all over the world. But in Nigeria, we are still using it. So I thought that for the good of our people, even if you apply it on your farm and the rain washes the herbicide into a lake, you know, the fish that you catch from there, when you eat it, you'll be eating the poison. The grass that is grown, if the cows eat it, the poison will be in their body. And you eat the cow meat, you'll be eating that poison. So for that reason, I thought it would be good for Nigeria to also ban that product in our country. Just for your information, with regards to this issue of committees, I am chairman of the Senate Committee on States and Local Government. I think maybe some chairmen were in Abuja recently to attend similar to this kind of meeting that we held with local governments across the country. So I am in charge of that committee, and in addition, I am a member of the committee on appropriation, on defense, on navy, on air force, on police affairs, on establishment, on banking and insurance, on national planning, and the recently introduced committee on livestock development. You know, recently, Mr. President created the Minister of Livestock Development and appointed a son of Adamawa State as the chairman. So the Senate President has graciously made me a member of that committee.
His legislative agenda focuses on 6 key areas: health care. Over 130,000 individuals have benefited from free medical outreaches organized across the district and beyond. Rural development. Access to clean water has been expanded through solar and motorized boreholes in underserved communities. Youth empowerment. Senator Yaroe has advanced youth development through skills acquisition programs and the sponsorship of sporting activities. Effective representation. As a voice for Adamawa South, he ensures the needs of his constituents are well articulated at the National Assembly. Women empowerment. He supports initiatives that enhance women's participation in economic and social spheres. At the heart of the meeting was an interactive session with representatives from Numan's 10 wards, alongside key stakeholders and even members of the opposition.
Da farko dai muna so mu gode ma shi distinguish da health outreach da aka yi a Bare. Na biyu muna so mu gode maka da industrial borehole da aka yi a Bare amma yanzu ba ta aiki. Na uku an ja mana hanya amma aikin an yi shi rabi-rabi, inda hali a samu a tallafa mana hanyar din.
Ba mu da ruwa kuma we are living in a front area. amma muna roko a dube mu da idon rahama a yi mana boreholes.
Local governments nawa, local government guda 9. Wallahi ko cikin kama wata rana bai koshi ba kaka yin hakuri ka bar shi haka kawai. Matayen mu ka ba su empowerment nasu na gona na menene duk ka tattara ka yi musu, muna jin labari.
Ayyukan da ka yi muna so mu gode maka, mu kara maka kwazo kuma kan cewa ka ci gaba da su domin ba za ka yi kurare duka take daya ba, amma kadan za ka rike kowane wuri, amma baka gama ba za ka yi 80% wanda kuma pass mark ne mai kyau A ne. Muna roko community in muka koma ba za a yi mana abu wanda ya mana ya sake dawo yana mana gadi domin kada ya ɓaci ba for our own benefits. Mu nemi wanda zai lura da shi a community. Kuma ka nema su balls da distinguish ya ce ya tona an ji an sa duwatsu ba za a sa ba, ba zai koma wurin ba.
University abu ne da ya kamata duk kwarafinmu mu ajiye shi mu yi pursuing na university. Ɗaya shine da wanda bai yi makaranta ba zai samu aiki, wanda ya yi makaranta zai samu aiki. Matayenmu za su sai da kaya a kasuwa, masu kudade a wurinmu za su gina gidaje na haya. Numan environs gaba daya za mu amfana idan mun samu university.
Sanatoci sun yi da yawa, amma wallahi ba wanda muka ga hannunsa ya dafa, don akwai wanda dako yake yi. Wallahi goyonsa ya fi wannan abun guda biyu. Binos Yaroe ya cire mar yana dakonsa ya samu lafiya, kuma ba don wannan zuwan wallahi sai dai mutu da wannan abu. Domin bai da karfin da zai yi operation misali 150. Ya kamata idan mutum ya wuce a mar uzuri. A maganar makarantar nan ina so in gaya ma yanzu ba maganar APC ba maganar PDP. Ka haɗa kai da su Malam Nuhu Bado, ka sa gwiwanku a ƙasa ku kawo mana wannan university domin mu ci gaba.
Mun gode ma Allah, mun gode domin kyauta da ya bamu na distinguished senator who is truly distinguished. Idan mun dan koma tarihi kaɗan, mu ce daga 99 zuwa yau, ran kai da kai ne senator 001, wato ma'ana senator number 1. Mun yi sanatoci masu murya suna magana ko ina ka shiga ka ce kai dan Adamawa za kira sunan senator ka domin suna magana ana jin su, amma ba mu ji impact din kamar naka ba. Mun yi sanatoci wa'anda suna da gata, suna zama da shugaban kasa su ci abinci, su faɗa damoyinsu, shugaban kasa ya ɗauka ya kira ya ce a yi musu. Su ma sun yi sun tafi, ba mu ji impact kamar naka ba. Wani lokaci distinguish da gwagwarmaya kake yi wanda kila kowa ba zai sani ba, da fama da kokari da ture-ture domin ka tura wayansu abubuwa su shiga, amma da izinin Allah impact din yana dawowa gida. Muna ji Allah ya biya ka, Allah ya baka lafiya. The reason why you are succeeding sir shine mutane suna yi maka addu'a. Roko da nake son kara kan abubuwan da aka faɗa duka distinguished senator shine da zai yi kyau kamar yadda honorable Hapiyati yana zaune shine ke representing chairman na local government. Senator in an samu zarafi da kai da ciyamomin da suke kasa da kai da member house of reps, member house of assembly, ku zauna kuma ku yi town hall meeting, domin korafin da aka kawo duka senator ko shugaban kasa ne kai ba za ka yi ba. An ɗauko aikin kansila ana ba senator, an ɗauko aikin chairman ana ba senator, an ɗauko aikin member house of assembly ana ba ma senator. Wanne ne chairman zai yi, wanne ne member zai yi, wanne ne kansila zai yi, wanne ne senator zai yi.
On the University of Education Bill, Numan, Mr. Wilson Fufano differ regarding what opinions some held as to why the president declined assent.
Most distinguished, I first of all want to appreciate you. In fact, you have distinguished yourself as a distinguished. Because for those that know, this is, you are the only one representative that can bring both yours and the opposition. my major issue, when I got this interview yesterday, I was wondering, is this issue of university. Sir, I'll be blunt on this matter. I may differ. Because what the doctor said here, because when that issue first came on the flight, the backlash was that, no, they've refused this university again, simply because the man that proposed the university is from the opposition. That was the major highlight of the social media. But then, facts began to emerge of technicality of error. So I'm passionate about this university because I know a lot of you know. I authored the memo that was submitted by Brenda about your women wing during the committee discussions, defense. So I'm passionate about that university. I followed it up. Every time you are on the Senate, on the floor, I listen to your arguments. I appreciate you once again. And even when now it came up again, I followed your town hall meetings, especially the one in Maebalwa. I listened to the explanation you made on the technicality. My distinguished sir, perhaps you may recall, you may not know, the first time I met you was maybe late 90s or early 20s when you are running down your program, Peace, Peace Reconciliation, one program like that. Then we knew that you had a Western background. You know very well that if it is in the Western world, those your aides, especially the legal draft people, they will have been fired. Because let's not go with the notion that actually it was because you are from the opposition and that university was stopped, or no. For the president to be able to dictate technicality of errors, then there must be a problem from your legal draftsman, which you should note. So let us all know this. This error has been made, and of course, let us follow it up. And then that synergy should be there between you and your other members in the reps. Because I believe when that thing was going on in the reps, I want to also believe that concurrently, they should have noticed all these things. And if we were in synergy, there should have been all this technicality of a problem. So now we're heading for another, having to make a representation. And I want to believe that perhaps if we be able to have a synergy, you have this smooth and going. Honestly, it is one project that if it is accomplished, the people of Numan will ever eternally remain grateful to you for that university.
Community members voiced their challenges ranging from infrastructure needs to economic concerns. They also shared heartfelt appreciation for the senator's ongoing efforts in the constituency.
Abu na farko mun gode ma Allah don ya tabbatar mana da wannan rana. Abu na biyu mun gode ma Senator Binos domin kaskantar da kai ya zo nan ya yi mana bayanai na abubuwan da yake yi da kuma matsalolin da yake fuskanta. Wannan shine shugabanci. Na san akwai da yawa waɗanda kuka zaɓe su ko muka zaɓe su ba sa ban wannan zarafi. Abu na biye maganganun da aka yi a nan shi kamar ni ne na ga yana rubuta notes kamar yadda na rubuta notes. Na san rubutun notes din nan domin ya kara duba ya yi bimbini a kai ya san matakan da zai dauka. Allah ya baka hikima da basira. Kamar yadda shi Reverend ya faɗa, da ina ta jin a yi mana abu kaza, a yi mana abu kaza, tana ce waɗanda ma ba su san abinda senator zai yi ba, da abinda local government chairman zai yi ba, da abinda councilor zai yi ba. Mu bambanta waɗannan, don in ba haka ba za ku bar kaman wanda ya kamata a kama shi ya yi abu a je ana dukan iska. Kamata mu bayanci wannan. Abu na karshe, magana university don ba yadda zan yi magana dai ban yi magana kan wannan Federal University of Education na Numan ba. Idan ba mu gode ma senator ba mu kyauta mashi ba. Wace suna da karin magana mai yiwuwa wanda zai mada kwadanzo ba shi ne zai ka kwadanzo ba, amma wanda ya mada kwadanzo shi ne dalilin da ya sa aka san akwai kwadanzo a wuri. God bless you, sir. I have been following your progress, your efforts in this area, and I can stand anywhere and defend you on this matter because I know everything about the university. You could have decided to take this university elsewhere, like many like you have done. Allah ya sa maka albarka. Do not relent. Do not relent. Mu dukanmu anan kada mu razana. Idan Allah ya nufe mu da ita, kai ko mutum ya fito daga saman samomi ne ba zai hana mu ba.
So I will not bother repeating the duties of a senator. Lokacin da ya fara magana ya gaya mana bambancin tsakanin aikin shi da na wanda suke presidency da wanda suke judiciary. Ina fatan mun fahimta. Thank you for the opportunity of the town hall meeting. And I would like to spend the next few minutes. I have a long list. And these will be points that I want you to record because they might help you in proposing some legislation in the Senate. If you observe what happens after harvest in these areas, the quantity of grains that leave Adamawa on this road going out is unbelievable. Tons and tons, trailer upon trailer of rice, soybeans, all manner of crops that are being grown here. I want to suggest, sir, that you go back to the good old days of the marketing boards. Let there be a way that can detain grains in our own territory. Because these grains are going, some of them are going across the border. They are being purchased at very cheap prices. Some of them are going to the federal government reserves, grain reserves boards. And at the end of the day, our people do not benefit. So I want to go back to the good old days of how grains can be marketed within the communities where they are grown so that communities can benefit. I don't know, on a personal basis, I cannot stand the idea of every 12 months a budget. When I was growing up and working as a young man, government had 5 years, 10 years, 15 years development plans at the federal level. So that we used to import our equipment in line with the budget of the federal government. Why can't we go to the budget system at least 4 years, which will fit in with the term of an administration? This idea of 12 months, you will not even start implementing the budget. You will lose about 3-4 months still debating, and you will not complete the budget process, especially when funds are not available. So I am suggesting that you should reconsider 5-year development plan, 10-year development plans, but at the very minimum, 4 years development plans at the federal level, and it can even drop down to the states. I'm even considering a possibility of thinking that somewhere in the future, we should have a single term of 6 years instead of 2 terms of 4 years for the presidency. You talked about dredging the Benue. This is a difficult assignment. The problem with dredging, as River Benue is presently constituted, any dredging that you do will only have a limited advantage because the Gongola is about 5 or 6 times the width it was in the past when there were deep banks. If you dredge the Gongola today, the amount of water you require to fill it will probably not do maybe 1/3 of the size. Because if you drain the whole width, you will not have enough water to feed the river. The solution that has been proposed by the Lake Chad Basin Commission was that za a yi channeling ruwa daga River Congo through Central African Empire to refill Lake Chad. And all the tributaries will then be able to feed our rivers such that the Benue will be full round the year. Because ships used to travel this route carrying goods from the south. So please rekindle this idea of somewhere in the future, international funding may be available for this River Congo because that's a constant river that draws its source from an endless source. Because simple dredging of the Benue will create its own problem. But the idea of a dam within our borders will also help largely. I have a selfish interest for suggesting, sir, in addition to the university, when you are done with the university, I want you to take up the challenge of bringing the first maritime academy in the north and choose any of the areas that we cover in your zone to have a maritime academy in the north. I know why I'm suggesting this because the benefits we don't even have time to discuss here. Let me also remind you that Ajaokuta is a massive project that is lying waste. Let me also remind you that Mambila Plateau, the hydroelectric power that people have been playing politics with, should not be allowed to go to waste. This issue should be kept on the front burner. May I also selfishly add that you also keep on the front burner the possibility of constitutional role for traditional rulers. There is a huge problem of drug abuse amongst our youth. I'm listing these things so that you are conscious of the fact that our youth are dying by the droves because of drug abuse, and it is affecting the schools. Will you be able to solve the problems as a senator? No, but know that these are the problems that are ravaging your people. On behalf of Manoma, there is a silent problem, the Eketafoa, on genetically motivated GMO seeds. This GMO seeds is a crisis now in East Africa. I hope Nigeria can live and survive without the infiltration of GMO seeds, genetically modified seeds. When the Vice President visited our community after our crisis, he promised relief. How many years ago? Since 2017, early 2018. We're still waiting. There are communities that are yet to recover, not to talk about getting compensation for the losses that they have suffered. One of us spoke about power supply in Numan. The major problem is that Numan is on what they call 11 kV line, whereas an ideal will be for Numan to be on 33. Whatever it will take to bring that, please keep it on the table. Huge area of activity is sports. I used to tell people that Ronaldo alone makes more money than the whole of Adamawa State in a month. One footballer makes more money than the revenue coming to Adamawa State from the Federation account. So sports is a huge area, sir. And schools are there waiting to be harvested. I want to suggest, I don't know if all of your committees also involve the military, that between Adamawa and Taraba, the military should have a shooting ground, a shooting camp. Let there be a shooting range on the border between Adamawa and Taraba. It will be a big security buffer for the suffering that we have done as a result of infiltration. And finally, the Aprofim project, the water treatment plant by the Benue, is one of the longest surviving projects that exists in this land. Since it was built over 30 years ago, it is still functional. I am told that the Northeast Development Commission has just done a major refurbishing of that facility, but it is still in the works because people were talking about water shortage in Numan. So yes, we need boreholes, but if you keep your eyes and ears to the ground on what is happening with the project of Aprofim, it might solve most of the borehole problems of Numan. Mr. Senator, sir, you are doing a remarkable job and we appreciate you.
Senator Yaroe listened intently, taking notes of every suggestion and concern. His transparent approach highlighted his dedication to accountability and inclusive governance. By organizing this town hall meeting, Senator Yaroe reaffirmed his commitment to the well-being of his people. His leadership is defined by a hands-on approach, ensuring that no voice is left unheard. As the meeting concluded, it became clear that Senator Yaroe's efforts are more than just policy-driven. They are people-centered. His dedication to fostering dialogue and addressing the challenges of Adamawa South stands as a beacon of hope for the district. For more updates on impactful stories like this, follow Eagle Lenses TV on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn and X, formerly Twitter, all at Eagle Lenses TV.